All right. Welcome to the Spoiler Kings. My name is Tim Kramer. I'm with Will, Peppa MD. What is up, man?
Sup? I'm excited. So excited for this movie in particular that even the zombie came out to say what's up.
Yeah, look.
Right?
That was perfect.
This is a doozy. This is one of my faves.
Yeah.
Favorite kind of genre, at least.
Yeah, for sure. But what was that? Oh, I was like, Thanksgiving, man. How was your Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving was decent. So I spent time a little bit with my wife's family. Thank you, Odalis. Speak of the devil.
Thank you.
For
Speak of the devil.
Yeah.
It's just a term. It's just a term.
It's a phrase. But yeah, we spent time with her family a little bit, had some dinner, had some amazing food. And then early morning I did have some like Guatemalan food. So like nice. I don't know if you know like what they have, but they have something called a chuchito. To die for. It's like a smaller version of their tamale. And then after I had dinner with the wife's family, an alarm went off. And then I went to my cousin's house in Schaumburg, Illinois. So that was pretty fun. Got kind of wasted a little bit before I worked the next day. But yeah. What about you? How was your Thanksgiving?
Pretty good, man. I just kind of did nothing at home. I wasn't feeling well. So it kind of changed a lot of plans. So it is what it is, you know. So luckily, I had some leftovers that my girlfriend's family, her parents brought over some leftovers the next day. So yeah, it was just like I had planned to go over by my parents, and then when I'm getting pretty not feeling good, so it kind of sucked. So yeah, but.
It happens. Yeah. I mean, did you do any Black Friday shopping? Does that kind of prevent you from doing that, or did you not plan on doing it anyways?
I don't really. I did it like 1 or 2 years, and I never really cared for it after that. It was just kind of like, it's not worth it. I did find some stuff on Cyber Monday, which is today. I found a few good deals on stuff. I might look one more time. I mean, there's just so much crap on Amazon when they do Cyber Monday. But yeah. And a bunch of other like StreamYard, for instance, for us, it was good deals. So anybody looking to start some podcasting, StreamYard's pretty good. But yeah, man. So we decided to change up the movie last minute. We were gonna go with Encanto, which is the Disney film, which. It's a Disney film, you know. I mean, it kind of speaks for itself. And then you said, "Hey, can we do the new Resident Evil film?" And I forgot about this one that it came out. I feel like it should have came out about 6 weeks ago. It should have came out mid-October. It should have came out right before Halloween, not right after Thanksgiving. That's kind of a weird time, you know.
It didn't get the traction that it should have gotten. I think you're right, due to it being kind of released at a really awkward time. I mean, when I think of Resident Evil, I think of spooky. When I think of spooky, I think of October, right? So
you're
totally right on.
Yeah, that's the one complaint I have. It has nothing to do with the movie itself. It just people aren't in that mind frame, you know, especially like. After, you know, around Thanksgiving, you know, they're like Christmas, everything's, you know, snow and happy and joy. And then you're like, hey, let's go watch some Resident Evil zombies.
Right.
So that was the only thing. I don't know if it was trying to catch the wave of, you know, that Thanksgiving weekend where everybody tries to put out their best movie. But
I guess so. I guess that's what they were trying to go for.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, man, let's get right into it and watch this trailer.
Yeah, so this week, in case you didn't hear, we're reviewing the movie. What's it called?
Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City.
There it is. So let's watch this trailer while you read quick synopsis.
And then, welcome to Raccoon City. Once the booming home of the pharmaceutical giant, the Umbrella Corp, the company's exodus left the city a wasteland, a dying town with great evil brewing below the surface. When that evil is unleashed, a group of survivors must work together to uncover the truth behind the umbrella and make it through the night. So we're seeing some scenes here from it. I don't know. It was very, if you ever watched the played the original, or at least at the very least the reboot when they did in 2002, you kind of get the story here. But yeah, we'll save. I figure you want to save comparing this to the original Resident Evil movie a little later.
Yeah,
We'll start getting when we start
later.
talking. Yeah.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, just if you don't know anything about Resident Evil, just a zombie kind of movie based off a game. That's about it without getting in too much spoilery area.
Right.
But yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we are the spoiler
it.
kings, but we will get to spoilers towards the end of the video or towards the end of the live. If you are watching us live, we do appreciate if you guys, give us a little support. Drop that like, drop that share button, drop that follow. It's always helpful for us, and we appreciate it. But yeah, with this movie, I want to say it's really nostalgia based, and kind of what you said, it really touched on being accurate to the video game, especially on certain like camera angles and certain scenes. I was like, oh snap, I remember that.
Yeah.
The dogs, very, very iconic as well, creepy as hell. And then we see some scary, scary monsters as usual, with some of the classic characters that we knew and love, with kind of a different look. It's okay. It doesn't matter how they look. As long as they perform well, is what matters to me.
Yeah, that was kind of my thing too. It's like, obviously graphics has gotten a lot better since the original Resident Evil game was
played.
I don't
so happy.
I don't even remember when the original came out.
The original game?
Yeah, that had been 90s, right?
It was a 90s game, yeah. So I do remember Resident Evil 2 being on PlayStation 1, PS1, or PS, PlayStation. It wasn't even called PS1.
Well, they have all these prequels and stuff. Resident Evil 1996. Holy crap.
Wow. Really?
Then Resident Evil 2 was 98. Resident Evil 3, 99. And then you started getting into a lot of the spin-off kind of stuff. And then they did a reboot in 2002, which I think this movie more or less follows the reboot version. Always said this movie scared the crap out of me.
Yeah, a lot of jump scares.
Yeah, some good ones. One of the things I really liked about this movie was the graphics were really, really, really good, really well done, and they didn't hide in the shadows too much. A lot of other scary movies, you kind of see just a little peek. Like here, it's like, no, when they jump out, they're out, and like you see them. As we saw in the trailer. So real quick, if you're watching on the replay, make sure you come and check us out live so you can watch the trailer with us, because on the replay we have to cover it up. So make sure you come over and check us out on YouTube. Give us a sub, and let us know what you guys think of Resident Evil. I think there's a poll right now on YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, go answer the poll. Let us know. I think we already got a few votes, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, but yeah, that was one thing I really, really liked about this movie was the graphics were good. Graphics were really, really good. I don't know. What about you, man? So what are some things you liked?
Some of the things I liked were accuracy of like the characters and how they were portrayed. So like one character that really, really looked like the part was Chris Redfield. They brought Chris Redfield back. They brought Claire Redfield's sister.
Fair.
And then they did bring back Leon and Jill. Jill was really accurate to how I remember her, at least in the game. And even some of the movies from earlier before. And I just, I don't know, man. I like seeing a classic look. Leon looked a little bit different. He didn't have his swoosh looking Justin Bieber looking hair. He didn't have that going on. But who knows? Like somewhere in the movie they were like, you need to cut your hair. So maybe that's like foreshadowing, right, or something to a possible like haircut in the next movie, if there is one. Who knows? But I did like the darkness and how Oh, the freaking they included the map or this thing back here, the actual Raccoon Police Department.
Yeah.
It's so accurate. This is literally in the movie. This right here,
Yeah.
and so which is funny because this is just a screenshot of a video game that I play called Dead by Daylight. If you didn't know, and in there they try to keep it as classic to the OG game as well. So I'm so, man, when that scene came up where they kind of panned over to this shot right here, I lost it. I was like, woo! I was just screaming in the theater. People were like, shh, shut that goddamn kid up. And it's me, a 30-year-old. But anyways,
Yeah.
I was just so excited. It was just like the coolest thing. But
Yeah.
just the accuracy, the jump scares were just great. I screamed like a little girl. I really did, for like, especially the dog moment. The dog, like, you know, I mean, it's kind of not a big secret the dogs get infected, but yeah.
It's in the trailer. So
yeah, it's in the trailer. But the dogs, ooh, man, they get like scary looking, even more than what the trailer shows. But that's up for you to watch. But yeah. That's what I really liked. I just like the whole accuracy, the whole like nostalgia feel from the game that I rarely, not that I rarely, I played a little bit. I was like a youngin'. 1996 is when the first one came out. So when I played the game was like 2001 or something. And I was barely like, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 years old. Like, man, I was scared as hell. And those were just crappy graphics too. Like nowadays, whoo, I'd be seeing Nemesis on this map tearing shit up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot different now. I remember watching my grandfather and my uncle play the first one. But then I remember renting the second one, and I was like in a room, like dark room or something like that. I believe it was the second or third one. I forgot. But yeah, there's like something jumped out and scared the shit out of me, you know, like as a kid, you know, in a room I'm playing Resident Evil. But yeah, this one had some pretty good jump scares, pretty good, you know, stuff like that. I did appreciate that. There another scene was really awesome was playing the piano. That was super awesome when Albert plays the piano. I thought that was super cool. Where he goes up and he plays the piano, and I'm like, and they even have the camera angle like the video game, like, you know, that weird angle. I'm like, oh, that's that really rang some bells for me. I was like, holy crap, that's going old school. But yeah, I thought that was cool. I did like that. And I always said, I think the movie did good with the scary pop-ups. Yeah, it did really good. Even if you knew it was coming, you know, like you knew that the tongue. I don't know the official names of all these monsters, but I know the tongue guy that was on the ceiling. You know, you knew it was coming. You saw that like for a while, and it's still when he finally jumped down, it kind of like got you like, ooh, yeah. But yeah, I'm trying to think some of the other things that I did like. I did like all the pretty accurate to the video game characters. Even their designs were pretty like accurate to it all too. I covered my eyes up a couple times.
So it's funny, I actually took my son to see this. He's a big fan of the game that I play as well, so he was already kind of familiar with like some of the characters, and like surprisingly he did well, like yet again, you know. I don't know if that really surprises other people, but for me it surprises me when I see like a little kid. He's only 6 years old and he's able to stay quiet for the whole movie and then also not freak out when, you know, crazy scary stuff you know, pops up. So like in the old school games, I remember that playing it as a kid, I wasn't allowed to play it. And so it was off limits. I couldn't touch the PlayStation. My older siblings were like, no, like, while we go to school, you're going to not come in this room and play this play this game. And so I was like, okay. And so as soon as I went to school, you know what I did? I headed straight to the room and I threw it on. But see, that was a mistake. That was a mistake because when I played it in like the room that I was in, it just felt dark for the most part. So I got the creepy vibe. And then I was playing by myself as a little kid. And so when the zombies start eating you, there's no like pause, or I don't know if you could pause back then, but like I wasn't figuring it out. And the zombies just eating you in the face and whatnot. And that scared me, bro. Like I think I pissed my
Yeah.
pants that day, the first time I played it.
Yeah. So yeah, same. It was pretty cool.
So the movie definitely
that.
brought those vibes back, but my son, he
Yeah.
was not phased. So that was a cool thing.
He was all like cheering him, like get him.
Yeah, I swear.
That's awesome. Yeah, there was another thing. I don't. Well, when you played, I haven't played a lot of the newer ones yet. I've been watching a lot of YouTubers and Twitch people play it just because I just don't have the time. I'm like, I'd rather watch them play it because I still enjoy the story. I feel like I'm so far detached from where the story went now because it you know, with the lady, what was the 8 foot tall chick in the last game? Forgot her name.
She had a fancy looking hat. I
yeah, the hat, like all that stuff is just like so like new to me with all of it. I mean, this movie is more of the old original stuff. I don't know. Maybe if this one does well, they'll continue it on for like another 8 more films, like the original one did.
Yeah, I see that happening.
Yeah. But yeah, one thing is when I played the original game, the aiming was horrible. So like you aim at the head and then bam, you shoot him in the leg. And I was like, what the hell? And I felt like in this movie they kind of tried to mimic that, where they're like body shot, headshot. You know?
Yeah.
But it made sense though. It made sense because obviously, you know, like you're kind of trained to shoot like, you know, the triangle. So it's like your chest area is, you know, because a headshot is really hard to do. So
yeah.
So I feel like that was kind of funny, but it also reminded me of like the game of, you know, it's like you're trying to shoot the head, but then, you know, you're like, oh, leg, torso. And then finally the head. So, and that's every time they had a zombie in this one, it was just like body. And then right at the end, head. You know, like when they down the zombie, and then like as he's getting back up, then you headshot him, like just like the video games. So that was kind of like interesting. I don't know if I was the only one that caught onto that. If they did it on purpose, I don't know. You know, but that's how I felt. It kind of like went with that.
I can see that.
So yeah, yeah, man. I don't know any other like really good things that you liked, or even like somewhat good things.
Without getting into spoilers. Those casts.
Yeah. We can get into a little bit of spoilers.
We get the spoilers? Man, there's one spoiler. I think it's like an end credit scene, though. I don't know if I want to say that now. Did you see the end credit scene? Or
no, I didn't. Scene? No.
Did the movie have a mid-credit scene? It was a mid-credit scene. Mid-credit scene.
At the end, or like when the movie ends?
No, so I remember how we stayed thinking that there was like an end credit scene.
Yeah, but no, it was just like
it was a mid-credit scene that touched on Wesker. Wesker is one of the characters that were in there.
Yeah,
it alludes to possibly him being in a possible next movie where he plays I forgot his name, but sunglasses dude.
Yeah, he plays another. Not Nemesis, because the Nemesis was in this one, but he becomes Nemesis. another big bad guy.
Yep. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Thank you, Daniel Watson. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for just saying hi. We appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
It's one of my homies. It's one of my homies from my DBD group.
So nice. Super cool.
Which also, real quick, shout out to Randy for last week. We did like a giveaway. We do a giveaway almost every week, if not like at least once a month, for movies. So even though we are the Nerd Huddle Podcast Network, we focus on sports, we focus on nerdy, geeky, comic book stuff, and then we also do media and new blockbuster movies where we kind of talk about them. That's what we do this show for. And so she was awesome. She shared the stream without me even knowing. I wasn't trying to boost our video to the group. I don't want to like exploit the group, as I've been saying in the past, because I care about them and I don't want to just like put out my stuff and like spam it to them. I don't want to do that. But she was really respectful and she was like, hey, like boom, 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 let's get these guys to 50 subscribers. And we did. Thank you so much. That was so awesome that we were able to surpass our goal even. So thank you. But
Yeah, I think we needed 3 subscribers to hit 50. They gave us 13. So big old shout out to Randy.
thank you so much.
There you go.
Thank you so much. Oh, you guys are
There
awesome.
you go. Look at that, right? Cheers for you too. Yeah, so yeah, thank you guys. I really appreciate that. Yeah.
But so we're talking Resident Evil. Welcome to Raccoon City.
Evil.
And right now we mentioned a few things that we liked. One last thing, let me see. You asked like how did I like the cast? Casting was great in my opinion. Where can I get to this cast?
Yeah, I mean, to me, the biggest name was maybe Robbie Amell and Tom Hopper. You know, Robbie Amell is obviously Stephen Amell's brother. And Tom Hopper is in which, if I'm funny, the Umbrella Academy. Yeah, Umbrella Academy.
The TV show.
And this one is and this one's like Umbrella, because I was getting it because this one's the Umbrella Corp. You know, so I was like, wait, yeah. Oh, so those are probably the 2 bigger ones.
My favorite person was Donald Logue, that played Brian Irons, played the police chief or whatever.
Oh,
that was like a little scary. Like, oh my god, that guy does amazing work. He's been in like Sons of Anarchy. He's been in like just I don't know. I could bring up his whole IMDb page, but like no, like he's just so good. He's so good, and like he sold out his freaking his freaking cops, and it was just so funny.
Yeah, he did.
He like put Leon, who's the rookie, which we all know Leon is the rookie of like the police force, and he plays that role really well too. I will say. He was like, "Oh, what do we do? He did look like super helpless. Like he didn't come out like heroic the way like I wanted him to kind of be displayed, but he did do a really good his version of Leon.
Yeah,
sure.
He definitely did his own thing with it. But even the woman who played Claire, Kaya, I'm not even gonna pronounce her last name.
Dario?
Yeah. I don't think she's a Brazilian actress. I guess she was in the Maze Runner stuff. I don't remember her in the Maze Runner. Yeah, so she's kind of like, you know, I mean, it's Robbie. I was gonna say Stephen Amell. Robbie Amell. As soon as I saw him, I'm like, oh, hey, look at that! It's Green Arrow's brother. You know,
nice.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, and then Tom Hopper is hard to miss because he's a bootleg Jensen Ackles. Yeah. I mean, he is. He is, man.
Just needs a better jawline. Nah, like that.
Yeah. You just need to say Sam a bazillion times, and then
Sam,
you'll get it. Yeah, exactly.
That voice is
I can't even do
hilarious.
it. Yeah, but he does look like a poor man's Jensen Ackles from Supernatural. So it always got me. But those 2 were the biggest guys. Everyone else were kind of. I mean, like you said, Brian Irons, Donald Neil McDowell. He always plays a bad guy. Again, also from the Arrowverse. He played a bad guy in the Arrowverse. He has that whole demeanor of bad guy. His voice, the way he sounds, just naturally sounds
his
evil.
His smile is just so sinister. When he smiles, I don't trust him. I don't trust that guy. Never.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's really good. He fits the role like perfect. I swear he does.
Yeah, he always does. There's a picture of him. If we can show it real quick. That's on his IMDb. It's like that's the worst picture.
That should
was like it's all
outside of school saying, "Don't let this man near 500 feet." That's what it should be. But
it's just he got the red around his lips. It's weird. I mean, at least this picture it looks a little bit better. But I was like, but that picture, but just that one. Oh man, but yeah, he always plays a bad guy. Always plays a bad guy. Which, yeah.
You play the video game? Did you mention you play the video game?
Which one?
Okay, damn. Resident Evil 2. I'm sorry. One of the
I believe so. I believe Resident Evil 2 was the one that I'm thinking about. Dude, there's been so many.
Okay, the truck scene. Remember the truck scene? The truck scene that starts off the whole game.
Yeah.
Was that Resident Evil 2? I want to say it was.
Mate,
Where the truck rolls over and then it blows up and whatever.
Yeah.
That was in this movie. And
Yeah.
that was awesomely done. I really felt like I was about to pick up a controller and start playing right after the theatrical stuff finished. Like, I swear, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
kinda
that was
excited,
pretty
man.
good.
I want to play Resident Evil now. I never really played it like that as a shorty. I was always so scared. And then it's funny because now I play nothing but horror games. But like, man, watching this movie just gets me pumped. I either want to watch more, that comes out from these guys, or I want to start digging into some of the games that, at least the recent ones. Resident Evil 8 Village. Ooh, I do want to play that one too.
Yeah, the newer ones are really, really good if you do play the video games. They did Resident Evil. Which one? The one it's not Biohazard, but the one where like you're in a farm. It's kind of really weird.
Might be 6 or 7.
It came out not too long ago. It might be the Biohazard ones. I think it was the Biohazard ones, where it's like this weird farmhouse with like these hillbilly kind of people, and it was really interesting. And then it started getting a little kind of back to normal because it started reintroducing the characters again. But yeah, the last one, like the Village, was really good. I watched a few people play it.
Yeah.
But what about some of the bad things, man? What did you not like about this movie?
Some of the bad things that popped out to me, was one thing in particular that kind of just didn't lead to anything. Was outside of the police department, it's kind of gated off, right? At some point, police chief was like, "Oh snap! We're gonna have an outbreak. Everybody, free for all. Everyone for themselves." And he has Leon kind of lock up most of the gates or whatever, right, leading to the grounds. And so I was like, okay. And I don't know why the camera kept kind of panning into like a shot where it was showing like zombies accumulating. On the outside of the gate.
Yeah.
And that never led to anything, I felt like. Or it didn't, and if it did, it just didn't stand out to me enough to where I was like, oh, like they broke through the gates, or they, they climbed over, or, somebody got bitten. Did you see that maybe? Like somebody got bitten, the classic move where someone gets bitten through the gate and the person that's inside the gate infects everybody else type deal.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything of that.
I think they broke through the gate. But like you said, I don't remember. I think when we were watching the trailer right now, I saw them break through the gate, and I'm like, oh yeah, I guess they did. But yeah, it cut to that a few times, and that was a little off-putting. It was very, like, I guess they were trying to build up to this, but I guess when it actually, like, the gate opened or busted through, it wasn't a big enough kind of thing. Like, it should have been like after you build up, and then the gate opens up for whatever reason, that they just bust through. It should have been like this, like a big chaotic scene kind of like thing,
climactic kind of moment. But it didn't fit the climax kind of feel that I was looking for. I think I
actually forgot about that because it was so random. It was just really random. That was one thing. The one thing I didn't like too much was oh man, it was like the acting at a few parts. Like you can tell these are like not like Oscar actors, you know what I mean? They're like, these guys are like, these actors are not going to be in like, Academy Awards kind of thing. They're a lot of TV actors and stuff like that.
It didn't
some
get
of them
so
I never
deep.
even heard.
Yeah, true.
So some of the acting was a little funny at times, where I was like, it kind of like made me laugh. I was like, okay, that's a little like over the top, silly kind of acting. But it wasn't bad. I've seen bad. We both seen bad out of some of the movies, but it was that was the only part where I was like, But besides that, it wasn't too bad. And some of the other things that I didn't quite get either was like Leon tells the waitress like, like who's bleeding from her eye. Like he's like, oh hey, shouldn't you go to the hospital? She goes, oh, I'm sure it's nothing. You are bleeding from your eyeball. What? It's like, I mean, like I get, people like don't want like are worried about medical bills and shit like that, but what? I mean, come on, man. That was like, I'm like, really?
Oh,
really?
Now that you say that lady's acting was really bad. when her first, like, she wiped it off and like smiled it off, like, oh, she didn't try to hide it. She didn't get ashamed. She was just like, oh, that's life. You want pancakes? Or like, what the hell?
Yeah. Well, didn't he with the trucker? Like he was being a little like dirtbag douchey in the truck with Claire. So I was like, all right, whatever. But then like when the accident happened, I don't want to like spoil that. Like I mean, it's in the beginning of the film ish. And then like he's like getting all upset and worried. I'm like, all right. Now I mean, he must have said like the F like a dozen times in a matter of like 5 seconds. I'm like, all right, that's a little much. And he's sitting there like fuck. I was like, what? I was like, like it was just. It was funny at a point, but yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel iffy about Lisa Trevor. I don't think they utilized her as much. She had a cool scene where she like snapped the zombie's like head off, or kind of his head off, or whatever. That was super cool. That was super cool. But I was like, where did that come from? And then also, I know I told you before the show went on that the actress who played Lisa Trevor was also the actress who played Gabriel from Malignant. So if you remember Gabriel running backwards and doing all those weird body contortion things, it was also by this contortionist, also played Lisa Trevor. So we're seeing repeats here now. Although I think she did better as Gabriel in Malignant, if I gotta be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my only thing. Like, they didn't really. They had this cool character that they could have done a lot with. That kind of just became like a pointer. Like, go there, and everyone's like, "Oh, okay, thank you." I was like, "What?" I was like, that was kind of like a waste.
And they never gave that conflict of, oh, should I trust this person? Should I not? The whole time she looks creepy, but she was doing like everything that was trustworthy. That would make me think, oh, I can trust this disfigured being. I don't want to shame her body or nothing like that, but like the whole point.
Well, she gets like experimented on.
So. Yeah, that's exactly why she was like that.
There goes Randy right there. She just missed the shout out. Yeah, we gave her some love for sending a bunch of subscribers our way. So we appreciate that. We'll give you another cheer. Some more cheers right there. Appreciate it. I get what you're saying. Like they never said like if she's a good guy or a bad guy. I think in the game she was kind of a bad guy. I remember you couldn't kill her in the game. And it was very annoying, so you just kind of ran away from her. In the movie, they make her just flat out a good guy, like a helpful kind of thing, even right from the beginning, when Claire was a kid. Then Randy said, "Love supporting my friends." Yeah, we appreciate it so much. Like seriously, a lot. But yeah, I don't know, man. Any other things that really kind of bothered you? Or you just didn't like?
Nah. I wish like they would have used the, I guess spoiler alert, but used the RPG, the rocket launcher.
Oh, yeah. It's so stupid.
It was really, really silly moment for one of the actors, but look out for that if you watch this movie. It was just, I wish they would have used it more or not use it at all because it was just so silly.
I see it not at all.
It was for laughs.
Oh, for sure. So Randy said, I'm slow. What are we talking about? So we're talking about Resident Evil. Welcome to Raccoon City. So he's in the police station. I'm in the mansion.
There you go.
So,
yeah.
Yeah. So it's the newest movie that came out this past weekend. Yeah, that was another part where I thought it was like just so over the top and silly. I was like, oh, that was the part. Oh, that's the part where Leon pulls out a freaking bazooka, right? And then everything and and then not Lee, who's the other guy? Chris, who's Robbie Amell. He just goes, "Oh no." I'm like, it's literally a rocket that's 5 inches from you, and he's just like, no, like he just covers his head, and then
like it's a bottle rocket or something.
Yeah, and then there's a big explosion, and then like they're all like they do like the big movie tropey thing where they all like like die from the explosion. Oh god, that part had me cracking up, and I was like, why? Why do scary movies always have like weird endings? It wasn't the worst weird ending. Like Malignant is the ultimate craziest third act ever. And I don't know if anything can ever live up to that. But this one was kind of weird. And everyone said, oh yes, love it. Yeah, a lot of Dead by, which we'll get into in a minute about the Dead by Daylight stuff. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that part had me kind of laughing, and it was right at the end of the movie. There was literally like 5 minutes left, I think, at that point. So yeah, that was funny. The bazooka. I was like, he just walks in with a bazooka. I'm like, you're kidding me. You're kidding me.
They didn't even show like where it came from. They didn't show, like lead up to
first class.
Like, he just pulled it.
I got it. I got it in first class. I was like, what? So stupid. And then Daniel, loving the show. Appreciate it, man.
You, Daniel. Awesome.
Really do.
Thank you.
So yeah, at least the one thing I was like, oh, the monster's gonna growl and he's gonna shoot the rocket in his mouth. At least that would contain the explosion or something. I don't know, but I guess they were running out of CGI. And they just made a big fake explosion in the background while Stephen, or keep only call him Stephen Amell, Robbie Amell, Chris, and Claire like did the whole movie jumping out of the way thing.
Yeah.
That was probably the worst part of the movie. That should have been the coolest part. So, but I don't know if they were just running out of money at that point, because the graphics up to that point were like really, really good, really well done. And then that was just super silly. Super, super silly. But yeah, man. Yeah, I forgot about that. Good. Thank you for reminding me about it.
You got it.
Yeah. This is my friend. He's like, it's a rocket launcher. He's like, no. And I was like, what? I literally laughed so loud.
It was a good laugh. I wouldn't say like, yes, I would have either like taken it out or doubled down on that and like added more to the rocket launcher, or but I don't think it was nice to see like a relief laugh, I guess, if you will, for that moment before they got into like the resolution of the movie. So it was cool.
Yeah. And then Randy said she has to go do some group stuff. Let's connect. We need you guys live in our group. Oh yeah, man.
Let's do it.
Anytime. This will be like a good game, because I know Dead by Daylight just took Resident Evil stuff a few years ago, right? 2019 or even longer, maybe.
Resident Evil Chapter came out, I think, last year. Last year?
What happened?
You would know this.
Oh yeah, Evil? It did. It came out when the game came out.
When did it come out? Yeah, it did come out with the game. Yeah, so it was 20.
DVD?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the 5th year anniversary one, right?
Yeah, so what year is that? Was that 2021 or 2020? 2021. So it was this year.
Yeah.
There you go.
And here we go. Joel right here. He goes, perfect leading into our rating. So Joel says, so do you guys recommend this movie? So you want to let them know how we rate our movies here?
Oh, yeah. Here we go. So, all right, Joel. The way we review movies here at the Nerd Huddle, us two spoiler kings review a movie either one of 3 ways that you see down below. So we either rate this movie a watch now, a watch later, or a watch never. A watch now means you have to drop everything and watch this movie right now because it's
Right.
that good and that's prioritized. A watch later means you can leave it on the back burner, maybe catch it, when it comes to streaming or whatever. And then a watch never means don't give your money to this movie. Don't waste your time. But with that being said, you always go first. I want to give my take first, if you don't mind.
Okay,
So I
real
want
quick.
to rate.
You wanna give one of our viewers? So Oli said this movie is a now. That's what one of our viewers said.
Yeah, you think that strongly, huh? Let me know why. Why do you think now? So we definitely like to hear, what you think, if it's a now, later, or never. But tell me why you think so.
Yeah,
that's a two-part question.
All right, so, all right. So what do you rate this movie?
Okay, so with this movie, Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City, it being a reboot, I had high expectations, and for the most part, they hit their mark. So I definitely say this movie is a watch now, just for the simple fact that the jump scares, the scenery, the cinematography, even though they had some wacky, like silly kind of moments, because they hit every other mark, with like the darkness and the not so saturated colors and whatnot. And it was just, they brought this map back, that was cool, seeing the movie. So because of all that and all the nostalgia, I will give this a watch now. What about you, Tank?
So I'm going to give this one a watch later. I feel this should have been a movie that came out to streaming. Like put it on, I don't even know, HBO Max, Paramount Plus, one of those. Like, I feel like that would have been a good spot, is to watch it at home instead of the theater. I did enjoy it. It was a fun movie. The graphics were really, really good. But it was also a movie that it was missing something, and I don't know if maybe it was the actors, because they got a lot of lower kind of mid-tier actors. When Robbie Amell is your main actor, is like your number one actor. I really do love like Robbie Amell, but he's not a movie actor. He's a TV movie. He's a CW kind of actor. I mean, he's been on a bunch of CW shows before. But overall, I mean, it was good. I had fun with it. It was a lot of fun. I have to admit, I mean, I jumped, I laughed. I mean, stuff like that is pretty good. But yeah, so I'm giving it a watch later. Thank you, Joel, for liking the stream. We got some questions here. Daniel said, I'm down with the watch later. As Resident Evil fan, I felt like it was missing some of the pizzazz or something. Exactly what I was thinking. Like, I felt like if it invested a little bit more into the acting quality, where like if you really like were getting invested into it, maybe, but it was super fun. And I do agree with, I think, it later. But I can see how like some hardcore Resident Evil fans can like go watch it now, because it's really, really true to the video games. And then Joel said, is this movie a startup of the franchise or feeds off the past movies? Didn't see the trailer for it. It is a brand new, it's a reboot. It's a reboot. Yeah. And then obviously, Joel again, man, leading us into another thing real quick. How do you compare this to the original old school Resident Evil movies?
Ooh, that's a fantastic question. And the way I answered that, be right back after these commercials. No, I'm kidding. No, seriously. Imagine, right? No, but the way I kind of compare the two, so one is true to the video game, and then one is true to the storyline of the game, but kind of includes an original character. So there being what's her name? What's her name from the OG Resident Evil movies? She's like a Russian. I forgot what's her name, but the girl from freaking Fifth Element, I know that's her. She adds a really badass element to the whole Resident Evil like universe that I kind of was hoping that she'd have some kind of cameo or some kind of like a reference.
Really?
Yeah, man. Like I think she was doing her own thing, but I kind of wish she would be in the games and really be more involved. Just because I like a female lead being badass. Following of the storyline. Oh, okay. Mila Jovovich.
Mila Jovovich. Now we're talking. Sounds like a great topic. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so I mean, we wanted to talk about this movie before we started comparing it to the other movie because we want to see if it has its own thing, you know. But Daniel said, I'm a bigger fan of the originals due to the following of the storyline. Yeah, Mila Jovovich, great cast. Yeah, Mila. Love cameos of new movies with the old cast, and they had a lot more serious cast, way more serious cast. Yeah, like they really tried. I mean, Michelle Rodriguez at the time.
Oh man, I forgot about that.
She was big, you know, Mila Jovovich, and they just kept adding more and more actors to as it went on. And I'm gonna go against what you said. I'm kind of glad they just stayed away from that. They just stayed away from that because I wasn't that big of a fan of the original one at first. I just because I was like, it's not you're just taking the imagery and using it towards your own thing, like, oh, Umbrella Academy, but everything's a little different. You're just using the same terminology, but you're kind of making your own story with it. After like they made the fifth one in the franchise, I'm like, okay, this has nothing to do with the video game. It's its own thing with just using the idea. I kind of started liking it a little bit more. You know, I was like, oh, okay, and then it started getting really over the top and super crazy. Hell, they even had Mike Epps. They did have Mike Epps.
They did. That was a funny piece they had.
And Joe Gibbons, the crying, laughing face. But yeah, I mean, 5 sequels. So it was the main Resident Evil and then 5 sequels. So they had 6 movies of the Resident Evil one.
It's a high bar.
Yeah, but I think once you disassociate that franchise from the video game, you're like, okay, it's doing its own thing. I enjoy what they're doing with this thing. This movie, though, like we said, it goes right with the video game, which I don't see why would you change it. The video game has a great story, you know, and it's been going on forever. So go with it, you know, and you have so much source material with the video game that you should take advantage of it, you know, instead of making up things. So, but either way, they need to do a standalone movie with Wesker and his side of the story being in the Umbrella Academy. Yeah, because in this movie they made him kind of an asshole. Kind of. I mean, he is an asshole in the video game too, but I at least I think he is. But yeah, they really didn't give him a lot of backstory. He's kind of like he had this thing in his locker, you know, like, and then you kind of find out later, like, oh, it's because of this and that. But yeah, I mean, I mean, I didn't watch the post credit. I didn't even know there was post credit. You know, it's left. I'm kind of post credit out. Like lately, even Ghostbusters that I didn't expect to have a post credit had 2. You know, so yeah, and I really didn't expect this one was gonna have a post credit. But yeah, I didn't know like they were gonna do the whole thing with Wesker, and it makes sense though.
Yeah, so they give a I don't know his reason wearing shades in the video game, but
it's cool, man.
Because it's cool. It was a cool factor, right? And in the post credit scene, you know, spoiler alert, we are the spoiler kings if you didn't know. But in the post credit scene, he's like blinded, I guess, by however they revived him because he dies. They flat out states that he dies, and that, you know, some people behind the curtain bring him back to life, but with like certain effects. And so one of the effects is he's kind of blinded by like the bright lights or whatever, and so little lady brings him like some shades, and so he throws on the shades, and then that's like a reference to damn it,
no spoilers. But yeah, when I closed out that window too. But yeah, from that one where he's wearing the glasses I can't remember now. Were they like those? They were like more rectangular, right? In the video game, in the old video game.
Yeah, they well, I'm looking at a screenshot right now from the PS days. It looks like kind of rounded out. Kind of reminds me of the Matrix looking glasses.
Yeah.
Those angels.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, he becomes
Or let me see. Man, if I try to share my screen. Oh, no. Wait. Never mind.
Yeah, go for it. You can. I was trying to look them up, but yeah.
Never mind. I'm not even going to try. Share. No, I won't do it this time. I'll experiment next time. But yeah, he has shades that are kind of rounded out. Not so square looking like mine or yours. They're more rounded, more of a 90s look for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at them right now with the old ones. Yeah. So that's cool. I mean, hopefully once it comes out on streaming, I can watch the post-credit scenes. I think we're gonna start ending up here. So real quick, anybody watching live still, hang out. We're gonna announce the winner for the movie. I forgot what movie it was. Candyman. Holy crap! Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna give away the Candyman movie. We're gonna do that live, and then any of you guys over on Facebook, if you want to come over on YouTube, give us a sub, and we do weekly giveaways. So I'm just gonna announce it right now. Next week giveaway is Jungle Cruise with The Rock and Emily Blunt. So we're giving away Jungle Cruise, digital copy of that. So we're gonna do Candyman in a second, but
yeah.
But yeah, so if you guys are watching on replay, thank you guys, and make sure you hit that sub and check us out all over Facebook and all the other Nerd Huddle guys. And we'll see you guys next week.
That's it. Spoiler time.